Sonic the Hedgehog. '06. Yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's begin, shall we? If someone were to approach me and utter the words Sonic 06, knowing very well I'm a huge Sonic fan, they'd expect me to burst into a ball of rage in which I slander the game left and right, speaking upon how it damaged Sonic's history and reputation as a franchise. Or they'd expect me to burst into tears, laughing at how much of a failure the game was in delivering a cohesive narrative or enjoyable gameplay. However, they wouldn't receive either of those reactions from me. I'd just look them straight in the face. Actually, I'd have a smile on my face, and then I'd say, I like it. Wait, don't click off the video just yet, just hear me out. But it did occur to me, why do I like this game? This is a title that is slandered, hated, and always referred to as the pinnacle of a failed project. So why? Why is it that whenever I'm given the opportunity to speak about this game, I'm not screaming in rage or pain, or laughing at how pathetic the team's efforts were to create an ambitious anniversary title? It took some time, but I think I finally found the answer to why. For me, the Sonic franchise was a series that kept on pushing its limits. It was always doing something fresh. Each adventure brought something new to look forward to. New gameplay elements being introduced, new daring narratives which allowed for deeper dives into characterization, and the games just always had this sense of charm and passion to them. My favorite title in the entire series is Sonic Adventure 2. I absolutely adored what this game contributed to the franchise. It introduced a character that made me take a deeper dive into individual philosophies and motives. It introduced unique gameplay styles that kept me engaged with not only the gameplay, but the characters as well. Yes, I enjoy every gameplay aspect of Sonic Adventure 2, not just 1/3 of it. It introduced a narrative that was deeply motivating and captivating and well executed in its exposition. And till this day, I believe it's the best narrative the franchise has ever received. Sonic Adventure 1 was just as mind-blowing. Whenever it's brought up in discussions, I always hear, it was a rough transition into 3D, or this is where Sonic started to falter. And I just can't agree with that idea. I believe Sonic Adventure 1 to have the strongest control and gameplay for Sonic till this day. There's so much freedom in what you can do with the speedy blue blur, spin dash jumping being a good example, as there's no speed cap, nor is there a feeling of restrictiveness to his movement. While most people were focused on his gameplay, I myself am not afraid to admit that when I got my hands on the game as a kid, I was engaged within the narrative. It was so mind-blowing to see this simple mascot go from just another smiling, cartoony face to this character that displayed his own sense of morality and expressed his ideologies in such a motivating way. Sonic Adventure was an evolution. It wasn't a step down. And now we come to Sonic the Hedgehog, better known as Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 or Sonic 06. As a kid, of course you aren't entirely able to distinguish good titles from bad titles. I know how I was. Anything that had the blue bastard on there, I would only focus my attention on that. But Sonic 06 was always a complicated game for me. When I played it as a kid, I loved it. And as I grew up and became more affiliated within the Sonic community, realizing how hated it was, I gave it another go. And I still enjoyed it. And now where I stand, after a recent playthrough, I still enjoy it. Of course, that isn't to say that I haven't had my frustrations with it. God damn it. Damn it! God! What the f- I always thought something was wrong with me. I mean, playing a game as a kid that is regarded as the worst title in the series, and then growing up to an age where you can separate good titles from bad titles? You'd expect me to come to hate this game, but no, that's not the case. Sonic 06 had this ambitious feel and representation that caught my eye, like no other title did. The environments were rich, stage layouts were interactive and huge, and traversing through the stage always felt like this grand, huge adventure. The story was aiming for this large, expansive narrative, something new, something fresh, and that intrigued me even more. As time went on, as years passed, Sonic grew as a character and a personality alongside us. That's always how I viewed Sonic 06, an evolution, just like the first adventure title. Hell, it wasn't even called Sonic and the Flames of Disaster, Sonic and the City of Soliana. None of that. It was called simply Sonic the Hedgehog. This title was meant to be a huge landmark in the series. It was meant to be the Sonic game. And well, it was a landmark, but not in the way you'd expect it to be. Without a doubt, one of the most captivating elements this game brought to the table was, well, the story's presentation. Oh my god, who's this psychic silver hedgehog that wants to kill Sonic? Oh my god, who's this evil satanic looking motherfucker that has it out for Shadow? Good lord, what went wrong here? Oh my god, what is that? Bro, what is this? Is this Final Fantasy? You get the point. I don't think I need to touch upon how flawed this title's execution in delivering a cohesive narrative was, but I do believe I need to speak upon the things that it did offer to the players. There are really heartfelt moments and instances within this game that made me take a deeper dive into the characters. These 3 scenes I'm about to show are some of my favorite scenes within the entire franchise.
So this is where you are. I've been looking for you. What's wrong?
Well, Blaze? To kill someone to save the world. Is that really the right thing to do?
You're so naive. Whether it's right or wrong, I can't really say. But what I do know is, if we don't take this chance, the future will remain exactly as it is.
Since he's after Dr. Eggman, let's sneak into Eggman's base. Maybe we'll learn something new.
The one that defeats and seals you in the future is me.
It's so unfair. Shadow's always here to defend the world. Despite that,
Eventually, when something or someone is seen as too powerful, it is seen as a threat. And then the world becomes its enemy.
Shadow? Even if you believe everyone in the world will be against you, know that I'll always remain by your side. Remember that.
I will.
It's futile. The world will betray you. Why fight at all? Why risk your life for those who will persecute you later?
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
Silver asking Blaze if killing someone is the right thing to do is the scene that made me open up to the character. Silver was born in a world full of devastation and ruin, and when he's given the opportunity to correct and set his timeline right, according to Satan here anyways, he acts on it. But when counteracted by Amy, who says that Sonic would never lead the world to a state of destruction, he slows down, not just because of what Amy said. He slows down because he's questioning the morality of this entire situation. He realizes that taking the life of this one person, it'll impact others as well. As this one person has meaning to those around him. He may be an enemy in your eyes, but he's a friend and ally in theirs. And I know what you might be saying right now. That's dumb. It's the life of one person to correct an entire world for himself. He should take the opportunity. But it is exactly that one flaw that helps make Silver, well, Silver. As Blaze stated herself to Silver,
You're so naive.
He's an optimist despite being born in a terrible world. Silver tries to find another way, and he does, but it came at a price. That naivety was a flaw, and that flaw led him to make that mistake. But in core, that's just who Silver is. When Silver witnesses the death of Sonic, you see him look towards the ground and really think that if he was the one to kill Sonic, this is how the situation would have turned out. Despite all this, when everyone is in a state of shock and confusion, he picks up the group by saying, "No, I won't give up. There has to be a way." And he ends up helping the group to revive the hedgehog he was ordered to kill in the first place. Rouge stating that she'll always remain by Shadow's side really exemplifies how strong their trust and friendship is. Rouge herself expresses that Shadow is a person that has always fought to defend the world, and despite all of that, he's still regarded as an enemy in the future? How is that fair? Omega then explains that when someone or something is seen as too powerful, it is shown to be a threat and an enemy to the world. You can even see Shadow's shock when Omega tells him that he's the one that seals him in the future. This scene with Rouge, the words that she utters to Shadow, it means a lot to him. He looks back and simply just says, "I will," acknowledging the trust from his friend. This isn't the same Shadow that pushed people away, or didn't care for people in the first place, in fact. This is a Shadow that is strong-willed, and believes in his connections with his friends. And this scene, oh boy, don't get me started on this scene. Throughout the entire story, Mephiles has served as Shadow's, well, Shadow. He pokes and unravels Shadow's vulnerabilities at every chance he can get, even attempting to make him come over to the dark side. And with each attempt Mephiles outputs, Shadow counteracts it. Shadow isn't falling for his crap. He's strong-willed. He isn't acting upon impulsive negative actions anymore. He's not struggling to find his identity and sense of morality. He knows what he's capable of. He knows he's strong-willed. This is exactly why this specific scene, where Shadow states that no matter if the entire world turns against him, he'll fight like he'll always have, means so much to his character. It's almost like it's a homage to his entire character arc throughout the series. Now, with all that said, I'd like to bring up something. One of the most prominent statements within Sonic reviews, retrospectives, and general discussions regarding story is that this is too much for a Sonic game, or this is too dark for a Sonic game. With that, I ask the question, why is that due to the statuses of these characters? Should their thematic undertones, philosophies, actions, and behavior be subdued? Writing is a medium that stems from love, passion, inspiration, and most importantly, creativity. To say such a thing, to put such an idea out in the open like that, is to produce a limitation within what the writers can do with their own characters and overarching story. And no, I'm not saying I want Sonic and friends to run around in a battlefield with guns as if this is fucking COD, but what I am trying to communicate is that what's wrong with grabbing your characters and expanding them outwards for people to enjoy and learn more about them? When I was playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I wanted more expansion on Knuckles' role as the guardian of the Master Emerald. I wanted to see how it was for him. I wanted to see his own sense of self-expression from being tied to duty like that. And Adventure 1 delivered on that. It expanded on his character, much like others in that title. When I saw Sonic express how he felt towards Chaos' cycle of hatred and locking his heart away, it made me think of Sonic in a deeper light. It made him more prominent as a character, not just a mascot. On the topic of gameplay, there are so many variables that come into play. You may like long stages, you may like minimal combat, you may hate character switching inside a single stage. There's just so much to talk about. For me, however, I've always been fond of the so-called adventure gameplay style. One argument I tend to think about time to time is the infamous Sonic was a bad idea in general, a platformer based on speed? That doesn't work. And to that, I always say that speed, in my eyes, has always been a rewarding factor from understanding and mastering stage layout, character control, movement, and momentum. Take Sonic speedruns for example. When they aren't focusing on glitching and bypassing areas, they're focusing on keeping momentum for the fastest time possible. The adventure gameplay style felt like an evolution from the 2D classic style. I don't separate the two in such distinct characteristics that they're discrete elements on their own. Or characters for that matter. And well, Sonic 06 fails in this regard. Speed is not a reward. Speed isn't even something that you can control within the game. speed is just automated and given to you through dash pads. That, and scripted sections. Those are the only instances you'll be receiving any sense of speed from. One section I believe it succeeds in, however, is stage environment and layout. I personally am a fan of large and expansive stages within a Sonic game, and Sonic 06 delivers just that. I love how interactive the stages can be, especially in Silver's story. I love how cool scripted scenes look. I love how specific set pieces look too, like Sonic running on water, Shadow grinding around a tornado, and Silver using his psychic powers to destroy towers and platforms in order to progress. They all sort of add this addition and charm to how you get to the goal. It's not about specifically starting out from point A and reaching the end. It's about being stylish, cool, and how you go about getting to the goal. For example, let's look at Sonic Forces and place it next to Sonic 06 for a quick second. If you gave me the option to play the beginning stage of either of these games, of course you'd want to convince me on which one to play first, right? If you told me in Sonic Forces, in the first stage you dash through Green Hill Zone, which eventually transforms into a sandy-like area towards the end due to the current situation at hand in the story, I'd say, yeah, that's cool, I guess. But if you told me that in Sonic 06, in the first stage you go about rushing through water, end up getting chased by a killer whale, have to play as Tails to close the gate which helps Sonic fly over the gate and keep the killer whale in the previous area, and end the stage off with Sonic rushing at his top speed to catch an aircraft on foot, I'd say, well, hell yeah. That would sound way more fun than Forces' first stage. And that is one of the most important factors for me in a stage. It's exactly what makes them so memorable in the first place. It's the set pieces and situations you find yourself in as you reach towards the goal. These all have this sense of charm to them, and make these stages feel huge and expansive without them feeling as if they drag out. It's this same charm, this same daring expansiveness, that I feel is just missing from titles nowadays. As Some Call Me Johnny put it, sometimes you need to hit rock bottom to see that something is terribly wrong. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that sentiment. But to consistently refer to that failure, which will halt any sort of progression the series could have had and should have, is an insult to what the franchise has done in the past. As I've stated before, Sonic was a franchise that was always moving forward. It was always doing new things. Each adventure felt brand and new. Each gameplay element brought something fresh to the table. It isn't that we've settled for mediocrity. It's that we've pushed and expressed negativity to such an eminent degree that the same negativity has caused fear and limitation within the franchise itself. Self-deprecating memes on the franchise, Big the Cat, limitations and fear to ever move forward with the franchise. It's the negativity that we consistently output from a title that came out years ago, and why Sonic won't take that daring, expansive, and charming path in development again. It's as if we can't even move forward because all we can do is express our discontent with the title. I'm not telling you to play this game, and I'm not telling you to even like it. But what I am trying to communicate to you all is that consistently expressing such negativity towards a title that came out years ago, and having such ignorant perspectives on what a Sonic game should and shouldn't be, isn't helping anyone. It isn't helping the fans, and it isn't helping the team either. All it's doing is limiting the expansiveness and creativity Sonic could and should have. Sonic has incorporated these gameplay elements and fundamentals in his titles before, and he succeeded. So why should this one failure be regarded as the end-all to these systems? The very same systems we're asking for today. Sonic 06 represents a failure of a product. Yes, there's no doubt about that. But the title also represents that daring, expressive, and charming tone the games once had. And that is exactly why Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 is my guilty pleasure.